Instead of blocking out with a 3D model in Blender, I thought I'd use the image as a aid for this. So I'm going to use a add-on called Image to Mesh. This is a paid add-on that I got from Superhive, and it has actually come in handy for me on other projects. First thing I need is to create the images so I can use it in Blender, but I've cut out all the separate shapes. That was towards another experiment with lighter that I will be showing, but these shapes are useful to create selections in the shading process as well. So for the Blender add-on, I want to show you, instead of white on black, they need to be black on white. Okay, so that's all of those layers done here. So the add-on I'm going to be using for those images I've just made is this Sketch and Trace Image to Mesh and Curves. There are other add-ons that do similar things. So I need to file, then I need to find my images. Okay, I need to install the add-on. So I've got the images here, all the silhouettes that I've exported. I'm going to add the image that I just created. So I've got them all as a combined image. Made them into a mesh by using the Shift-T shortcut and bringing up the image to mesh operation panel. So now they're all here. So I need to scale them. The origin is set to the 3D cursor in this case. I'll just right click and set the origin to geometry so it's in the center of the geometry. They're about lined up with the image. To save time, I'll just add a solidify modifier to all of them at once. And what that's going to do is make them solid rather than just one plane. So I can change the thickness here just to give them a bit more geometry to work with if I sculpt them. I can't apply them in edit mode, I need to apply that in object mode. They've all got a bit more thickness now, so they're going to be better to work with in the sculpts. So now I need to go into edit and select them all, press P, buy loose parts, and now they're all separate shapes that I can arrange. If you move and scale and rotate and position things, you have to set the scale of them after. So I think that's all the ones that I need to set the scale for. Control A, rotation scale, so they're all set now. The other thing that would be useful though, while I've got them all selected, right click, set origin to geometry, so all of the different objects have their origin point in the right place as well. So now if I look at the topology of one of these objects, it's quite simple, it's just got one plane for this. When I go in to sculpt this, it's not going to be useful. But before I do anything, I need to rename them all so I know what they are. So that's all of the medium or secondary details. So I'm going to put these into a group as well, or a collection. So I'll call them medium blockout. So I just want to drag those shapes in to that collection folder. The advantage of collection folders as well is you can hide them or show them, decide whether they're going to be rendered or not. But the other thing about collection folders that's useful if you've got a lot of objects and perhaps you want to select them all at the same time, you can right click them and select objects, and that will select all of them, and also deselect. So that's something to bear in mind when you're blocking out lots of objects. So the only thing I'm missing, apart from these spikes and things and this thing along the back, is this whisker here. So I need to create that, and I think I will use the skin modifier to do that again. So I'm going to set the cursor to the start where I want it. Then I'm going to add a single vertex. Then I'm going to add a skin modifier. and then I'm going to add a subdivision surface modifier. Now I have this shape here. I need to scale it with Control A, and I'm in edit mode already, which is good. Now I need to make sure that vertex is selected, so I'll extrude it out along the shape of the whisker. And I might scale it as I go just to taper it a bit. So that's roughly the shape of that front whisker that I was missing. I just want to move that back a bit. I can select any of these vertexes and rescale them or rotate them or move them, so you don't have to get it right the first time you block them out. It is a bit difficult to see what's going on with the image over it as well, but I think I need another vertex here just to make that shape a bit better. So I'm going to select those, right click and subdivide, and now I can move that here a bit. So that looks a bit better. Perhaps move that down. I think I need another point here. I think I will have another one in between here, because I just want to scale that. So now that I'm happy with that, I'll go into object mode, and I don't want it overlapping the jaw, and I need to move it in 3D space. So I need to move that in front of the face to the side there, so it's not overlapping. However, this point here is actually going into the mouth. So in edit mode, if I've got this selected, I can move that backwards until it is reaching the face. So I'm going to go back into object mode and move that back. Now I want this, the bottom part of it, to go out more. I need to go into edit mode again and put X-ray on, and then I'm going to select all of these and move them out a bit. So just to make it a bit more interesting. So I've got this mesh. It's not a mesh yet, it's still using the modifiers. So I need to apply all the modifiers. Now I'm happy with it. And that's now geometry. These shapes are a lot flatter. I need to turn them into nicer geometry for sculpting. I'm going to select everything and make sure it's shaded flat, and then I can see what's really going on with the topology easier. To get rid of sharp edges, I need to clear sharp. I'm just going to go into sculpt mode, and I'm going to remesh this object. I don't want it too much geometry. I need to figure out a good starting point. So I'm going to undo that. Luckily it's kept the setting I tried last when I pressed remesh again. So I'm going to put that a bit smaller. I'm going to try remeshing it again, a bit smaller. So that's fine, that's a bit better. I'm just going to undo that and click the fixed poles, just in case. So now if I smooth this out, well, I'll just show you what the topology looks like first. So the topology is looking like this now. So we've got lots of little grids here, the faces. It's still not quite how I want it. I can apply a mesh filter. I want the smooth, so I just drag on here and that smooths out the edges a bit, which is a little bit nicer. So with the quad remesher add-on, if I remesh this, I'm going to put it to 500. There's fewer faces with this than the remesh method, and it keeps the shape as well, which is great. So now if I smooth this, because there's fewer faces, the smoothing will be a bit more effective. That's how I would deal with reshaping and getting the topology a bit nicer for if I was going to sculpt it or change it a bit. Now I could have done that with just the remesher thing, but I think the quad remesher add-on is very useful. And every time I use the quad remesher, it will keep a backup of the old mesh. So if I decide that I don't like these and want to go back to the original, I can. So now I just need to do that with all the other objects and make sure that they're in the right place on the dragon. In part 4, I'll continue with the dragon blockout. Thanks for watching.